Okay, friends, it's Team On, and we are back with a new video on Jason Blaha, the gym, lifting, recruiting, fitness gear slave. We're going to react to his video here. Blaha says, should a personal trainer look the part? The part of what, though, exactly? Look the part of what?
Should a personal trainer look the part? Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today.
You're asking me my personal opinion. A personal trainer should be somebody that is actually knowledgeable, that can get you the results that you're looking for. You understand me? It has nothing to do with looking a particular part. Maybe they do look the part. I don't know. I don't know what you mean by look the part. You know, if they look fit, and they can demonstrate what they say works or it's true, then that should be sufficient. You understand me? And they have some evidence to prove that what their training is based on. That's all. That they could prove that this works. That's about it.
But a quick reminder, please click a like down below, follow or subscribe to me if you aren't yet, and please drop me a comment, leave your thoughts, leave your ideas on this, and or just say hello. So let's get over to the topic. I bring this up occasionally, and it's always funny. It has nothing to do with me, number one. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not a gym trainer. I have done it in the past, many years ago. Right? Part-time. I'm a strength and conditioning coach.
Many. He's a strength and conditioning coach, but he's never gotten stronger. Do you understand me? He's never gotten physically stronger.
I coach powerlifters. I coach people, off-season bodybuilders. I coach fighters.
Wait. He coaches powerlifters, off-season bodybuilders, and what? Fighters? How could he coach fighters? He doesn't have any experience fighting. And as far as bodybuilding, he has no experience as a bodybuilder. Now, as far as powerlifting, I don't even experience. He lifts. He injects strength to lift something heavy. So how could he get you there naturally if he did it fakely? You understand me? I don't know. But anyways, it's not difficult to get yourself to a certain point, to a degree. You know, once you understand the fundamentals, you don't really need a coach. Here's the thing: once you understand the fundamentals, how certain things work, you don't really need a coach. You can coach yourself. See what I mean? You can look for it. This is the internet now. You can look for examples how to accomplish a certain lift. You could look around, get ideas, try to understand what exactly the mechanics is behind it. But it's not difficult to understand lifting. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be a genius. You understand me? Once you understand what these two modalities do, concentric and eccentric, you understand me? Here's the thing. When science says to you things like, you get more gains in the eccentric than you would get in the concentric or isometric. No, that's not what they're saying. What they're really saying is that the gains that you would have gotten doing it with concentric and the isometric, like together, and the eccentric all together, you will get greater gains in the eccentric. If you leave out, in other words, had you left out the concentric isometric, then you would get greater gains in the eccentric. That's all. There's no gains in concentric isometric without the eccentric, because all gains come in the eccentric. All gains happen in the eccentric. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get gains, like they said. You can get gains lifting full range of motion with concentric. However, there are greater gains to be made in the eccentric without the concentric. That's what they're telling you in science. That's why I say you are not making gains lifting concentrically. Do you understand me? Especially because your eccentric is adapted. Only a real good coach could tell you that. And your coach should have a level of experience that they understand these fundamentals so they can transfer them over to you. See what I mean? They have to have a level of experience that they can transfer their experience over to you so you don't have to go around trying to figure it out, how to be a better coach even yourself. Here's the thing. I don't even have to train somebody like physically in a gym. I can just relay my information and they start doing it, and they can even coach other people very quickly because you have to be that good at doing it. That's all. The explanation of it.
For their lifting, stuff like that. I'm not a personal trainer, so when this comes up, this has nothing to do with me. It's not my profession. I don't really desire to be a normal gym trainer. So we're talking about actual gym trainers.
It's not his profession. He doesn't desire to be a gym trainer. Okay.
Be a normal gym trainer. So
Look, Blaha had brainwashed people on the internet. The ice cream fitness 5x5 was going to build them big and strong, when in fact a 5x5 powerlifting is not transferable to bodybuilding, because bodybuilding is not based on powerlifting. See what I mean? That's why there's greater gains in the eccentric than you would be lifting concentrically. Even if there was a little bit of eccentric there, with that concentric, you're not making gains. I'm sorry. It's just like that. It's just like that.
we're talking about actual gym trainers. And what I mean of should they look the part or what happens if they don't, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's not a good look. It's not good for their business. You know, I've had people who will...
Well, if you look fat and ugly, it's kind of not bad for it's not good for your business. Yeah. You kind of want to look fit, right? What is fit? Well, lean, right? Lean, muscular. That's what they consider fit.
Say in these contexts when this topic comes up, yeah, but are their clients happy? Are their clients getting results? Can they get their people, the general population people who are hiring them, can they get them results? That's what matters. And fundamentally, I'm going to agree with that. Okay? Fundamentally, I'm going to agree with that because it is what matters. But where people go really extreme...
Oh, then Blaha, he has a long way to go then, because this grandpa look, this 85-year-old grandpa look at 47 or whatever is horrendous.
They always try to compare different professions to it. They'll be like, well, Boris Shako is fat and out of shape old man, yet he's the greatest. I'm going to say no, the second greatest.
Wait a second. You're talking about an old guy that's practically, he's old, like really old. He just coaches now. He doesn't do anything, doesn't put anything into practice. Can he coach? Of course he can, because he's got experience already from the past. If you're talking about young people, that's totally different.
Second greatest powerlifting coach of all time. Let me go with Louis Simmons as number one. It's like, okay, but he's not a personal trainer.
Powerlifting coaches are horrible to train you in bodybuilding. They're horrible. They cannot train you in bodybuilding because they don't understand what builds bodies. They're stupid. And all these other stupid powerlifters that think that lifting a heavy is going to get you, getting a stronger, lifting concentrically is going to get you a bigger, are all retarded themselves.
If Boris Shako walked into your local 24-hour fitness or LA Fitness and nobody knew who he was, coming in there speaking Russian,
I don't care.
Offering personal training services, I can tell you right now he wouldn't get hired.
I don't care. I would never hire him anyways. Want to know why? Because he lacks experience in bodybuilding. He doesn't know what builds bodies. I would never hire him. I don't really care.
No, like people wouldn't hire him. Let's be realistic, because you're talking about personal training the general population. Now, people who know who Boris Shako is would obviously hire him if they're stuck at a 600-pound squat and they're like, I need to get my squat higher. I can only squat.
I'm going to tell you right now, I would never hire any of these fitness influencers online. I would never hire Alpha Destiny or Michael Hearn or any of these people. Want to know why? Because they don't know the fundamentals of bodybuilding, what builds bodies. It's really simple. They don't really know what builds real strength and what builds bodies. So I'd never hire them. Never.
100 pounds in competition. Boris, I need to get to 7. Yeah, they're going to hire him. But it has nothing to do with being a personal trainer. That's a special.
Here's the thing. When you take those training certificates, they don't explain to you either how bodies are built in gyms. They will direct you how to exercise people in gyms, using these machines, the movements and things. But it doesn't tell you that this is what builds, bodies, and you need to do this for specific strength and building bodies. Well, they'll tell you strength stuff, that the strength, you lift a weight, you get stronger, you get better at lifting, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I said, everything works in the beginning until it stops working because you're not really using the true fundamentals that build bodies.
Type of coaching, nothing to do with general population fitness. Same thing, you're like, well, a football coach doesn't have to have won the Super Bowl. No, but he better have played football.
Well, yeah, he's got to have relative amount of experience. Look at Blaha. He's never bodybuilt before in his entire life. He doesn't lift eccentrically. So what's his experience? He has none.
Okay, you kind of see where we're going with this? Okay, so yeah, your 50-year-old coach out there, he never played a game of high school football? You're telling me he's never been out on a playing field? I don't know that he should be trying to coach the NFL then.
You can't build your body with power lifts. Power lifts don't build bodies. Eccentric exercise builds bodies in bodybuilding. But powerlifting doesn't build bodies. It'll build you a power lift, though. That's why they call it power lifting. It'll build you power in lifting concentrically. But it ain't going to build you a body because lifting concentrically actually makes you smaller and it doesn't make you bigger. That's why people complain that they got a stronger, but they never got a bigger, and they also got a smaller.
He didn't even play high school football. He's never been on the field, never played the game. Is that what you're telling me? Okay, but again, you're talking about coaching a sport at the ultra elite level to where less than 1% of the population has the genes to even be there.
Okay.
That's not comparable. Let's come over and talk about a gym trainer. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that if a gym trainer isn't in shape, they're fat, they probably shouldn't be helping clients try to get into shape and to lose body fat unless they have a really good reason. They just went through a major issue and they're in the process of losing weight again because something happened and they gained a bunch of weight while they were sick or whatever, major surgery and then inactive in depression, gained a bunch of weight. Okay.
This mini dryer is portable and powerful.
Major surgery and then inactive in depression, gained a bunch of weight. Okay. But that's temporary, isn't it? And they probably already have clients and people who remember them in a base. But if they're just fat all the time, I'm going to say no, they probably shouldn't be a personal trainer. They have no professionalism, no accountability. How are they going to handle this for the other general population? I'm going to say no. The same thing.
Look at Blaha. How could he be a trainer? Look at him.
Plenty of trainers don't look like they lift weights at all. I'm not saying they have to be my size, guys. I'm 220 pounds. You guys just watched me.
Oh, now he's 220 pounds. Before it was 200. Now it's 220 pounds. Okay.
Close grip 325 with a 2-second pause and do a 500-pound squat without sleeves as a 48-year-old man, by the way.
He's making this stuff up.
Repping out weighted pull-ups. I'm 48, okay? They don't have to be my size. That's not what I'm saying. And I'm obviously not the biggest guy in the world. I'm
48. Well, I'm 58, and so what?
Have numerous friends who are bigger than me. Personal friends of mine. So, that being said, They better have some muscle. Like, why are we lifting weights? For the purpose of gaining muscle. So yeah, if you
You don't have any muscle and you don't know how it's built. So look at your legs there. Look at your arms. And you got that wide body, that fat wide body. Man, I don't know. The guy's suffering from sarcopenia. I'd never hire this guy as a trainer. Never, ever. And his, like I said, his 5x5 ice cream program has destroyed people on the internet. Those channels, they're all dead. They don't lift anymore. Many power lifters have disappeared. I don't see them anymore. I go to their channels. They stopped posting years ago. Some they hadn't posted in years. Some they have. Sometimes it's years or a year or two. They're all gone. They all disappeared. Whatever happened to that black guy, Officer Jam or whatever? Where's he? Where is he? Always lifting. He never gained anything. He was lifting. What a ridiculous channel, man.
You haven't gained any muscle, you don't look like you work out, you're just a skinny guy or a skinny girl. No, I don't.
They used to talk about Blaha all the time back then. That Officer Jam guy, all these weird people. The 5x5 ice cream program. All their channels are dead.
I don't know that is a good look for a personal trainer. And here's the thing, a lot of them don't lift and don't know how to lift. I mean, I have observed this many times.
Yeah, we're observing it right now. Blaha. He doesn't know how to lift.
A serious strength coach who teaches the barbell lifts at an elite.
He's like literally wasting his time here in the garage. You know that? I have friends that I train, okay? People that I know. I explain to them how these things work. And within just a couple of weeks, man, they've gone so far. It's crazy. You'd be shocked, man. You'd be shocked if I showed you these people. Now, I can't show them online, okay, because they're personal people that I know, all right? I don't want to, for personal reasons, they don't want to be shown on YouTube or whatever, okay? But I could tell you within weeks, man, they've changed. They've changed like fast, rapidly. You know that? And here's Blaha lifting like 2-3 years later, trying to bodybuild 3 years later on his, or 4. It's been 4 years now since he's taken up this so-called bodybuilding thing. In 4 years, he's gained nothing. He's just exercising.
Level. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I have seen many personal trainers myself in the gym who aren't qualified to teach a kindergartner.
Yeah, you're not qualified to teach a kindergartner. Look at you.
To lift a weight. It's pretty bad. I've also known personal trainers who are phenomenal at their profession, but they also look like they lift because they do lift. Okay, and that's kind of the point.
I don't care if they're taking drugs. I'm not hiring them because they can go and train somebody on drugs. If they didn't do it naturally, then they never done it real. So I'm not trusting any of them.
I will be the first to say, if you don't know you don't know how to stack your wrists on a barbell bench of any type. It doesn't have to be the flat bench. You don't know how to stack.
The only thing I'd hire Blaha for is if I wanted to get smaller. If I wanted to get smaller, I'd hire him because he's really good at doing that. That's about it. And taking steroids. Probably that's the only thing that is keeping him from completely shrinking away.
Your wrists when you grab a barbell. I don't think you should be teaching anybody in the weight room.
Yeah, Blaha teaches people how to get small and weak.
My opinion. You need to get out of there until you learn the basics.
Yeah, you need to learn basics. And Blaha has never learned the basics yet. Yeah.
You can't take a barbell, a back squat, a front squat, even a dumbbell, and do a below parallel squat without your heels coming up off the floor.
Well, if you can't do an eccentric squat from the front or back, I ain't hiring you, Blaha.
Yeah, you probably have no business teaching anybody how to work out. especially charging money
So why are you trying to get people to hire you and train people then, Blaha?
for them. But, I digress back over to that point. They don't have any muscle. I mean, are they a personal trainer or not? And that's kind of the point. Let's talk about credibility, accountability, lifestyle.
Look at Blaha. He was fat, 300 pounds. And then what did he do? He got there himself by eating garbage. And then he lost a more majority of it. He's down to 200 or 190 or 180 or something. He's exaggerating about his body weight right now. It's probably lower than you think it is. He's small and he's weak.
You don't work out and take it seriously yourself. Oh, you hop around and do some one-legged stuff with a cable or a Bosu ball. Yeah, you're not serious at all. You're goofing off. So you don't take it seriously, then this is not your passion. Okay? It's not your passion.
If you don't take it seriously, this is not your passion. It is my passion to a degree. I had a friend that warned me not to, he kept warning me not to tell people how muscle is built online. Now, in the beginning, I kind of was giving it out, but I wasn't truly giving it out until I really went all out. Because, well, he passed away, and then I thought about it, because he says, and he was very against me. He was very against me telling people how to build muscle. He was almost at the point, he was angry. He was upset with me. Do not tell people how to build their bodies. Directly, he said. So, yeah. And then, I thought about it. I was like, okay, whatever. I just come out with it. You know what I mean?
You don't live the lifestyle. You don't even train at any sort of remotely serious proficient level yourself, then yeah, I'm going to say that no, you probably shouldn't be doing it for a living because it's not your passion. And that would be the weird question that I have for
Trust me, it was my passion, but it can become an obsession like you being jailing yourself in a garage. Something you're passionate about and something you're obsessed about are two different things. There could be an obsession trying to understand something fundamentally how it works, so you're pursuing that. That's totally different. But you're obsessed with this whole whatever it is you're doing there, destroying yourself and aging yourself in this garage, which is crazy. Yeah.
people who are like, I'm going to be a trainer and get people strong and shit, but they don't know how to do it themselves. Like,
Oh, trust me, I know how to do it myself, and I can prove it with real science. But you can't. You can't.
don't know how to do it yourself. You're like, well, I choose to do this other thing instead
Was that Blahal there? He looked weird.
of actual effective methods. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I use effective methods. You don't.
doesn't mean that's what you need to teach your clients. If you make that personal choice, you need to have your clients do what's effective, not what you personally choose to do.
Look, this is a message. This is a message to Blaha's clients. If you truly want to progress, then you're gonna watch my videos. You're gonna listen to me. Now, if you don't want to progress and you want to be a failure like Blaha, then continue in that behavior. You understand? It's a behavior you're exuding. So you continue in that behavior, and you'll get exactly what you're looking for. You'll be a loser like Blaha, lifting in this garage. You understand me? But if you're an intelligent person, you're going to watch my videos. You're going to listen to me. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about.
That's something that has to be looked at with that. So that would be the difference. Okay, I don't practice what I preach. Okay, that's fine. But if you don't practice what you preach, then what you preach better be what works, not what you practice.
I practice what I preach, and it works. It always worked. It works. Trust me, it works.
Just throwing it out there.
Yep.
My thoughts on it. But no, I will say that for a gym trainer, you need to be in shape. You need to have gained at least 10 pounds of muscle. Doesn't need to be 50, But you better have gained 8 or 10 pounds of muscle. You better know how to perform the basic lifts with good form. You better not be fat. At least
There's more to just going to a gym and lifting a weight. Anybody can do that. Anybody can train you to lift a weight and say, here's these machines, and this is how you do this. You pull down this and you pull this and you do that. And so what? Well, and then they give you some advice how you should eat. Oh, you should lower your calories. Why do they want you to lower your calories? Because they know you're eating the slave food diet. So they're eating slave food diet and it's making them fat. It's kind of obvious. You're eating carbohydrate, which is not natural to humans. And so that's why you look disgustingly terrible. And so you go to a gym trainer because you're like, can you transform my body? Well, you were the one that transformed it into that mush puppet because you couldn't stop eating the slave food diet. So now you want to pay a guy like Blaha to reverse all these problems or whatever. Or he has these, I don't know, he says he has these clients like a fighter or something, and he's going to train you. You're going to lift weights and you're going to get better at fighting by lifting a heavy weight. Man, lifting heavy like concentrically, it'll make you slower. It'll make you really bad at these professional sports. That's not the modality to get better at sports at all. Bodybuilding was always a carryover to every sport. That's why it's based on principles of eccentric exercise. It's not based on concentric because concentric doesn't enhance you. It doesn't enhance you to be better at sports. Eccentric does. It's kind of obvious.
look the part, my opinion. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope
Thank God. Look the part. Does he look the part? Here's the thing. Never mind about looking the part. Can he perform the part? See what I mean? Can he perform? He says he's training people in like these, I don't know, these sports. Can he perform that part, Blaha? No. He can't sprint. He can't do anything. He can't play sports. He sucks at sports because powerlifting, it inhibits you from playing well in sports. That's what it does. It's terrible. It's terrible. They call powerlifting a sport. It itself is just a terrible sport. Yeah. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, friends.